In this video, we will be discussing rationalizing the denominator. Now, when it comes to fractions, whatever they may be, usually they will have a rational number at the bottom. For example, that could be 2 root 3 over 3, could be 4 over 5. This number here in the denominator is always rational, meaning it's a whole number. Now, what can happen is sometimes we can be given an equation where there will be an irrational number at the bottom, meaning there will be a surd. For example, 5 over root 5. Now, the problem with this is root 5 is an irrational number, meaning it will be quite hard to actually divide 5 by root 5, because this equals, if you have a look on our calculator, 2.236 onwards. So it's not the easiest thing to work out. Meaning, when we get these types of questions, we need to find a way to rationalize the denominator, so make the denominator a whole number. And there's a rule that we can follow when it comes to surds to actually work this out. So let's get rid of these. That rule is, if we have a fraction with an irrational denominator, we need to multiply that fraction by the denominator itself, so the surd, and that will give us root a over a, as a surd with the same base multiplied by itself just equals the number inside. So using this rule, we can now look at some examples to answer. Here we need to rationalize the denominator of 6 over root 3. So to do this, we simply take 6 over root 3 and we multiply by the denominator. So we multiply by the surd. This will give us 6 root 3 over 3. And this can be simplified as 3 goes into 6 twice, so we get left with 2 root 3. Looking at another question, here we have x over root x. So we're going to take this fraction and multiply it by the surd on the denominator. This will give us x root x divided by x, and again this can be simplified, x into x, so these cancel out, so our final answer is just root x. And if we were to write this as a fraction, it's a bit like having root x over 1. 1 is a rational number, so this is fine. Now we've got 2 questions here. What I would ask is if you could have a go at these on your own, pause the video now, and we'll mark them together once you're done. So starting off with the first one, just going to write down this fraction. Just going to multiply it by the surd in the denominator. This will give us root 2 plus root 10 divided by 2. And this can't be simplified any further, so this is our final answer. For the next one, just going to write out the fraction. And the same thing, I'm going to multiply by the surd, the denominator. Let's give us 3 root 3 plus root 18 over 3. Now root 18 here can be simplified further, so what we're going to do is we're going to simplify this and then substitute our simplified answer back into this fraction. So root 18 can be rewritten as root 9 multiplied by root 2, which gives us an answer of 3 root 2. Subbing that back in gives us 3 root 3 plus 3 root 2 over 3. Now if we split this fraction, that will give us 3 root 3 over 3 plus 3 root 2 over 3. And we can cancel these out. When we'll just be left with root 3 plus root 2 as our final answer. So we've got another exam question here. Again, pause the video, have a go at it, show all of your working out, and we'll mark it together once you're done. So for this question, we're given a fraction with a surd at the denominator, and we need to simplify this fully. So anytime we see a surd as the denominator, we know we need to rationalize this. But in this case, before we do that, I think it would be easier if we simplify this numerator here first by expanding the brackets out, so it just becomes a bit more easier for the next step. Okay, so doing that, we multiply out. This will give us 16 minus 8 root 3 plus 8 root 3. Plus and a minus is a minus. 2 by 2, 4 times by 3 is 12. Now minus 8 root 3 and plus 8 root 3 cancel out, so we're left with just 16 minus 12, which gives us an answer of 4. So if we rewrite this fraction now, it will be 4 over root 11, and we need to rationalize this. So we just simply times this by root 11 over root 11, which will give us 4 root 11 over 11. These two can't be simplified any further, so this is our final answer. Now that is part 1 of rationalizing the denominator done. Please watch part 2 in the series for more exam style questions on this topic.